Oh Yeah is brought to you by Holiday CBD Gummies. There's no need for a special occasion. With Holiday's delicious premium hemp CBD gummies, you can take a vacation any day. Go to holidaycbd.com and use the offer code OYEAH10 for $10 off your first order.
Boys are back in town.
All right, we are back with Season 2 of Oh Yeah, the Entourage podcast. We are talking today about Episode 1 of Season 2, The Boys Are Back in Town. Did you miss me? Of course you didn't miss me. You missed the podcast, and I don't blame you whatsoever. Thank you for your patience over these past few months. Our hiatus took much longer than anticipated. It was not for nothing, though. There's a few quick housekeeping things to discuss before we dive into the episode. First, I am so excited to announce that we are officially partnering with BroBible.com. Brandon and the team over at BroBible have been so supportive of the pod since the beginning, and their partnership will do nothing but bring good things to the show. We've got some pretty lofty goals for Season 2, and have been working tirelessly these past few weeks to book some major guests and develop some big ideas for episodes to come. As with anything, the paperwork took much longer than expected, so apologies for my radio silence. There will be no more long hiatuses from me from here on out, I promise. Second thing, with this new season comes a few small format changes to the pod. Nothing major, the content itself won't change a bit, but the one thing that does have to change is the music. It's pretty obvious I can't keep playing other people's music on the pod without risking getting cease and desisted up the ass. So instead, when we discuss our favorite songs from each episode, I'm going to add them to a Spotify playlist. That playlist is called Oh Yeah Music, and you can access it by clicking the link in the episode details in your podcast app. All our favorite songs from Season 1 are on there now, so go follow that playlist. And that's it. There's no other changes besides some new categories that we'll be introducing. The guests we have lined up this season are legitimately insane, and I can't wait for you guys to hear some of these interviews. So let's dive in with our leadoff hitter. Chris Distefano is one of the top touring stand-up comedians in the game right now. He just had a Comedy Central 1-hour special drop in January. He was so generous to come on and discuss the Season 2 premiere, The Boys Are Back in Town. If you haven't seen him perform live yet, check out his website in our episode bio and go see him ASAP. Enjoy. I am so excited to welcome on our guest for this week. This man is a New York City comic who I have been watching personally for a very long time. He was a host on MTV's Guy Code and Girl Code. He starred in the IFC show Benders, and he recently had his very first hour-long stand-up special, Size 38 Waist, which premiered on Comedy Central. Is Brooklyn in the house?
Yes.
Chris Distefano, how we doing today, brother?
Yes, Brooklyn is in the house, and Brooklyn just had to go check on his 3-year-old daughter. I heard her coughing, but she's okay.
Good. Glad to hear it. How are you doing after? I guess this episode's airing in April, so this might be a little bit after the fact, but Odell Beckham just got traded today.
Yes.
Your thoughts?
I mean, it's the same feeling that I had when the Knicks traded Kristaps Porzingis. It's like, this is what New York sports has been the last few years, where it's just like, stupidity, stupid move. I almost think like now, like playing in New York, like it doesn't matter like as much as it used to, because like now, like with social media and all that, like these players, it's like not a privilege for them to play in New York anymore. Like Odell Beckham, like if this was 20 years ago, the last place he would ever want to be is Cleveland. Yep. Now he's got to go to Cleveland, but like it doesn't matter. Like
it truly doesn't.
So many fans will see him in Cleveland, and nothing's going to change about his life, you know? Where, like, back in the day, it's like, if you're playing for the Giants, everyone knows who you are. If you're playing for Cleveland, nobody knows who you are. So, I don't know. To be honest, me personally, I always, like, loved Odell's talent, but I always, like, could see, just from what, you know, the media shows us in the games, like, or had the idea, like, that he's a hard guy to get along with and not great in the locker room. So, I bet you that's where the Giants, I know they'll say, oh, it's cap space and this and that, but I'm sure it was a personality trade.
100%. So that was like a hot take, like hot off the press. This trade happened an hour ago, so who knows? When this episode airs, Who knows who else is on the Browns at that point? Who knows who the Giants have signed?
So. Who knows? Maybe Odell failed the physical.
Yeah, maybe.
And he never even got traded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. But we're not here to talk about Giants football today. We are here to talk about Entourage. Chris, what is your relationship with the show Entourage? What was your viewing experience like, 10, 15 years ago when it premiered?
I used to watch it, like I was in college when it came out, so I was like watching it like every other guy. And then, more recently now, Jerry Ferrara, who plays Turtle, is around the New York comedy scene a lot. Yep. He's a big New York Knicks fan, so he's like always around. And Jeremy Piven actually does stand-up comedy now.
I saw that.
And I met him last year at the Moon Tower Comedy Festival in Austin, Texas, and we've become somewhat friends and text. And when he's in New York, he hits me up, and we've hung out. So it's weird that like I know Ari now.
That's awesome. And I'm hoping if this goes well, you can mention this podcast to both of those gentlemen, because I'm certain that Jerry Ferrara knows about this podcast. I'm certain that Ari Gold has no fucking idea, or Jeremy Piven has no fucking idea.
Yeah, Jeremy Piven he's in his own world, Jay Piv.
He's on another level.
Yeah, he is.
But we are talking today about the season 2 premiere. The Boys Are Back in Town.
Yes.
I specifically wanted a New York guy on this because, we can get into it, but the boys, the Entourage gets back from New York and kind of, attack LA as they do. Let's back it up a little bit to when this episode aired. This was June 5th, 2005. Almost 15 years ago. Insane.
Holy shit. June 5th, 2005.
This same night, the 109th Men's French Open concluded. Rafael Nadal beat Mariana Porta. It was Nadal's 6th title of the year. It was his first career Grand Slam title.
Rafael Nadal, I used to work in the U.S. Open. I used to work at the tennis center.
Uh-huh.
I was a ball boy, and then I worked for the grounds crew. I was a court attendant. I would refill the beverages and stuff. And Rafael Nadal, how jacked and diesel Rafael Nadal's left arm as compared to his right arm is so nuts in person that it's all jerk off jokes. I remember because the funny thing about the U.S. Open is Wimbledon, the French Open. You mentioned that's what Nadal won that day, and the Australian Open. It's very prom. Yeah, it's very proper, mm-hmm. and the people who work there are it's a privilege, it's an honor. The U.S. Open, it's all dirtbags from Queens and Brooklyn. We're all just scumbags that we don't know about tennis, we don't care about tennis. The guy who runs the court attendant and grounds crew unit is also an off-duty firefighter, so he just gets kids from the park.
Perfect.
And we don't give a fuck, I remember my boy Pat Finnegan, Patty Fly Balls, just yelling at Rafael Nadal and just being yo, stop jerking off, cuz your left arm's too big, you're jerking off. And then Rafael Nadal just saying something in Spanish. It's so funny how I always thought that was funny about everybody else takes their job so seriously in tennis except the people at the U.S. Open. That's
so funny. I have a good friend of mine who grew up in Brooklyn, and he always sends me snap stories and Instagram stories of him sitting in the upper deck of the U.S. Open. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing there? You don't even know the rules of tennis.
Yeah, there's no point to go there. Yeah, especially in the upper deck like that. I mean, it's just it sucks.
Yeah, watch it on TV.
Exactly.
So back in 2005, first week of June, later on this week, the NBA Finals tipped off. Putting you on the spot here. Do you remember who the NBA Finals matchup was in 2005? It was a boring one. Was it maybe the Spurs or the Pistons? It was both of them.
It was Spurs Pistons?
Spurs Pistons, yeah.
Wow, because I was gonna say he was either the Spurs Pistons or I was gonna guess maybe the Celtics, but Spurs Pistons. Wow, I nailed it.
Spurs Pistons. Spurs won in 7 games. It was a 7-game series, but I think it was honestly probably one of the lowest watched NBA finals. That was small ball NBA.
Was it Ben Wallace? Was that Ben Wallace on the Pistons then?
Rip Hamilton, Chauncey Billups, that whole
squad.
So just a little bit of a snapshot in terms of what time period we're talking about here.
Yeah.
So in this episode, with filming on Queens Boulevard completed, Vince, Eric, Turtle, and Drama arrive back in LA. They're ready to pick up where they left off. Eric is trying to fulfill his new duties as Vince's manager, while he's also trying to control the frustrations caused by his relationship with Kristen, his girlfriend. He also has to deal with Ari, who who lets him know that offers to Vince have started to dry up and that Vince should take the starring role in a comic book movie called Aquaman. Turtle steps up into his new role as the house manager, and Drama finds an unconventional way to do a new set of headshots. There's a lot I want to unpack in this episode, specifically about some of the New York food places, which we'll get to. But Chris, what would you say was your favorite moment from this episode overall?
My favorite moment from the episode, it wasn't like a scene or anything, but just when Turtle, like in just one scene when he's wearing like the New York Giants jersey and the backwards New York Giants hat.
Hey guys, I'm Lloyd, Ari's new assistant.
What's up, man? I'm Vince.
I know who you are.
What happened to Emily?
I don't know.
It's just like such a New York Goomba, cuzzy-wuzzy, stupid thing to do, to like just be in LA, like in a manager's office with a New York Giants jersey and matching backwards hat. Like, that's such a dumb Brooklyn Turtle thing to do. And it just really made me laugh. Even though he didn't say anything, I was like, this was such a funny choice to put this on.
Take it one step farther. It was a personalized jersey that said Turtle on the back.
That's a turtle on the back. Yeah, I forgot. That's even, I mean, it's just so stupid. and it was so New York, but it's like, it was a personal thing. Because like, if I went out, I guarantee you, if I went outside, well, not now, it's late, but if I went outside, when I go outside tomorrow, if I'm on the train, somebody's going to be wearing a matching, like Mets, Yankees, Giants, Jets jersey and hat and jacket on the train. It's a guarantee in New York. It's just what these idiots do. What we idiots do.
Yeah. What's your take on the personalized jersey?
I think the personalized jersey is as stupid as it gets.
Yeah.
I think like, get the regular jersey and that's it. And also it's like, here's two the personalized jersey is dumb, and a New York Yankees jersey with the name on the back. Like I saw the other day, I saw a guy wearing a Mariano Rivera jersey, and it had number 42, and it then had the name Rivera. I was like, take that off.
Yeah.
We don't do last names. The Yankees don't do last names. We're anonymous. So it's like, that bothers me. But yeah, the personal, I'll be crystal clear. I'll be honest with you. Like throughout my career, I've gotten, because, I'm a big Islanders fan. I'm a big Knicks fan. I'm a big New York Giants fan, a big New York Yankees fan. I've gotten multiple personalized jerseys as gifts, and I've given them all away.
Smart.
I don't have the only jerseys I've kept have been the one like my agent got me an old school like vintage Mickey Mantle 1961 jersy.
Yeah.
Like that's amazing.
It doesn't have Distefano on the back. Like
no, if you got me something with Distefano on the back, like what? When would I ever? Why would I? I'd be such a tool to wear that. And that's what I thought was funny about Turtle, because he's like a Brooklyn tool in the sense that like. He's the kind of kid, well, like not his look, but there's like guys like him in Brooklyn, like they'll wear that jersey that says Turtle on the back, and you're like, wow, this guy's a tool. But like if you say anything to that guy, he's gonna pull out a gun or he's gonna get his boys, and it's just gonna you don't want to fuck with that guy, so you just have to deal with him. You have to laugh at him behind his back. Yeah.
I had a friend in Chicago. I'm a Cubs fan. He was a Cubs fan. His father got him in high school a Chicago Cubs personalized jersey, and his last name was Smith. So there was a Cubs jersey with Smith on the back, and I'm like, this organization's been around for 120 odd years. There's had to have been a Smith that played, and everyone would stop him and go, "Whose jersey is that?" And he would go, "Oh, mine."
Well, one of the coolest things I ever got to do in my career is I hosted the show back in the day on MTV. It was called Off the Bat. It was like a Major League Baseball show. They aired it Sundays at 11 a.m. It's like nobody's watching that shit. Yeah. But anyway. During spring training, we covered the Cubs, and I got to hit meatballs in a parking lot with Anthony Rizzo.
Wow!
Anthony Rizzo was lobbing me these meatballs, and then I was really lobbing him the meatballs, and he was crushing these things, and he was just shattering meatball jizz all over some guy's car in this parking lot, and then we just filmed that and just left.
That's perfect.
Yeah, Rizzo was great, and we were texting for a little while, but then he just stopped texting me after he won the World Series.
Yeah, that's what happens. Well, and look at you now. Now it's a Tuesday night and you're on your couch Skyping with me.
Yeah, great. Anthony Rizzo made a good choice by cutting me out of his life.
Any other good moments from this episode that jumped out at you?
What did jump? I mean, I thought the relief, because I have to go to Los Angeles, sometimes for work and stuff. The relief of that pizza, that New York pizza coming, I understand how that could make anybody who once was mad at you not be mad at you, because and what he said, what I forgot what character. Somebody was talking about the water, how the tap water.
Yeah. Drama and Turtle
Drama
are arguing on the plane as they land, and they're talking about how you can't get a good bagel in LA, can't get a good slice of pizza, and it's because of the tap water.
Why is it so hard to get a good slice in LA anyway?
Tap water. That's why you can't get a decent bagel either. Except on Fairfax.
What, Johnny, there's different water on Fairfax?
Yeah, Vince. The Jews imported from Borough Park. I'm serious.
Well, if that were the case, then why can't you get a good slice on Fairfax?
Jews don't make pizza, idiot.
So, given your theory, Drama, I should be able to get a decent pizza bagel at Canner's.
Wrong, E. Kosher mozzarella tastes like tofu.
Yeah, the tap water, which is a big thing that we say here in New York. It's like the tap water makes everything. And like, I have a couple of friends who own a restaurant in North Carolina, and the line is around the block for their restaurant. And they said the only thing that's different is they get bottled water or, big bottles of water shipped from New York.
Yep.
Every week. It costs them like $1,000 a week, but they make it up in profit because their pasta and breads and all that taste that much better. So I think factually, it's probably, who knows with New Yorkers, but I think factually we do filter our water more than any other city in the U.S. I think I think it is the cleanest water. I think that's what they tell us. Who fucking knows?
Yeah, but it's you're supporting this theory that every New Yorker has told me for my entire life with fact.
Yeah, and like the thing is, like, you've tasted the bagels, you've tasted the pizza.
Yeah.
Like, I'm from New York, but it's like you have taste buds.
Yeah.
You've never tasted anything like that.
100%.
It's like, it's the best. Like, I went to a bagel. Montreal, Canada claims that they have as good bagels as New York or better bagels than New York. And I was up there in the summer, and I went, and first of all, the bagel was okay. Second of all, I went to their top bagel shop. The top bagel shop in Montreal didn't toast the bagels and didn't have coffee.
Ooh.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
If you don't have fucking coffee or you're not going to toast my bagel, I can't even talk to you. So it's like, I think when Drama and Turtle were having that argument, when I knew when so I think it was Turtle was saying like, why can't you get good pizza in LA and as soon as they said it, before Drama even said it, I was like, oh, it's the water. It's the water.
Yeah.
And then boom, right away.
But I think that shined a light on that fact for thousands of young dudes in America, because that was a New Yorker thing to know. I didn't know that in Chicago. I didn't know there was a tap water thing until I started traveling to New York more regularly as an adult. Yeah. So I want to put a button in the food conversation, because I want to talk to you about some of these places they throw out. But really quick, my favorite moment in this episode is just in the first 10 minutes, Ari is going, you guys got to do Aquaman.
You missed me, didn't you?
Ari, come on.
All right, you ready? Aquaman.
Aquaman?
Aquaman, baby. It is Spider-Man underwater. Boom.
Was there a script?
No, I know he doesn't like to read, so I got you some with pictures.
And Vince and Ego, but we want to do Median.
We know what we want to do next.
What? The fucking Bell Parkway?
Relax, it's a studio movie.
Really?
It's big.
What is this, a Showtime miniseries? Come on.
No, it's Medellin, the Pablo Escobar story.
Sex, drugs, and salsa!
Did you read it?
I know, but it's over at Universal.
This movie is going to be like the new Scarface, which is like our favorite movie growing up.
And those two sentences set up the next, 3 seasons of the show.
Yeah.
Which is insane. Like, this is why the first couple seasons of the show are so incredible, is because early on they were throwing 90 on the black. They were like, okay, we're setting up these puzzle pieces that won't actually get addressed for a season or two, but we're setting them up good. And I really liked that. I was like, oh shit, they're talking about Medellin already? We're 9 episodes in. This is fantastic.
Yeah. I know. Well, it's like the confidence that the writers had and the creators had, just knowing like this shit's going to go for a while, and they were right.
100%.
Yeah.
This is a new category I want to introduce this season. Last year we talked about good moments, bad moments. Listen, this is a bro show. Bros watched it. Bros still engaged with it. For any female bro listeners listening, thank you for being a female bro. But I want to talk about a bros being bros moment. Every episode of Entourage has one, and I'll start off with mine, and I'd love to hear yours if you had one, or just your thoughts. I love the scene when they're walking and talking into Ari's office, and they're talking about having sex with a girl on her period.
So, you're saying you'd have sex with a girl on a period, Drama?
Who wouldn't, man? Hey, I've done it. It's not something I hope for.
You guys are disgusting. I don't think I've ever done that.
Yeah, well, you should alter, boy, because it's a known fact that a girl on her period is much hornier.
And there's no need for a raincoat.
Yeah, it's like Flag Day.
Set this a week.
And it's just like a straw poll. Like one guy's like, he's like, I've never done it. And Drama's like, I only do it. And there's all these different theories floating around, and they're trying to convince him. I loved it. I love that moment.
Yeah, it was, to be honest with you, I used to be the guy who, like, if I saw period blood or whatever, I'd be like, I can't do it. Ever since I had my kid, you don't, like, the shit that you see when you have a little girl, like the amount of shit I've had to clean out of her vagina, like the fucking things that you see, being a part of being at the childbirth and seeing what happens, like just ripping another hole, like her getting a second vagina, like as the baby came out, like my kid's mom just getting a second. Like now it's like, I just don't care. It's like, if you're on your period, whatever, I get it. I get it.
Yep.
But before that, I would be more like, yeah, I don't know if I would just try to convince her to give me a blowy.
Yep, 100%. Well, you're not in the mood, and E does this to his girlfriend in this episode. So what I liked about this scene specifically, the walking and talking about the period, is like we've all had that conversation with our boys where like one dude's done something and the other three haven't, or vice versa, or one dude hasn't done something and the other three are giving him like the pros and cons of it. And I think that's what like people connected with the show.
Dude, I got a friend, like if I'm talking about like if he meets a girl at a bar and like gets back to her place, she goes back to his place, whatever. Mm-hmm. Like if he just met you 10 minutes ago and you're like DTF, he's putting his tongue in your butt immediately. All he does is eat butt. And he said there's been multiple times in his life where he's been eating a girl's butt and he's come and just left. Like he's obsessed with munching butt. And I'm like, dude, you're going to die. You're going to get a coli one day and legit die.
Your tongue's going to fucking fall off.
Yeah, no, he has strep throat like at least 6 times a year. And he's like, I got to go to the doctor. I know what's going on. I'm like, stop sticking your tongue in random girls' assholes.
Well, worst part of this episode, least favorite moment for me was that discussion with Eric and Kristen where she's on her period. And she's like, oh, I'm bloated. Let's just kiss. And he's kind of like trying to ask for a blowjob, but she's not giving it to him.
I feel gross. I feel fat and bloated.
Well, you're not. You're beautiful.
Saturday night. We can get really drunk, and since you're this big hotshot manager making the big bucks, we can get a room at the Beverly Hills Hotel or something.
Big bucks. I made $6,000 on that movie.
Okay. Well, we'll split the room. We'll have the best sex ever.
What are we gonna do now?
Just kiss.
We've all fucking been there in a long-term relationship, but felt very fucking teen drama to me.
Yeah, I think it was like, that when I watched that scene too, I was like, oh, this is Entourage's attempt, because that was season 2 and season 1 crush, but it was a bro show.
Yep.
I felt like that scene was like, oh, let's see if we can get ladies involved.
Yep.
Somehow.
100%.
Let's get the female viewers. But that guy in real life, Kevin Connolly's a big Islanders fan like me, so I like his shit.
Kevin Connolly, if you're listening, and I know you've checked this podcast out, love to have you on. Love to come talk to you about anything you want Entourage related. So,
hell yeah.
Any lines jump out at you from the episode? Such a quotable show. Like I have a few here. If you have any.
Oh, you know what's another thing? I don't remember the lines, but when Drama was getting his headshots, that was really funny too. When he unbuttoned his shirt like an asshole.
Yep.
That was really funny.
Okay, great. I think we got what we need.
Well, hold on a second here, pal. I got a couple wardrobe changes. Turtle.
Ari says a line when he's talking about the period sets.
I won't even fuck my wife after she plays tennis.
Yes. That's actually the best line in the whole show. That's the line of the show.
Ari's the quote machine for the first couple seasons.
He's the best.
There's a good exchange when they pull up to the house and Eric starts ordering Turtle around. And
Turtle, will you do me a favor? Will you take this stuff in?
Yo, Vince, I want his job. Guy's sitting on Easy Street.
Oh, Turtle, please. You're like a 3-time lotto winner.
So I like that too.
Yeah.
And then
that was fun.
The last one is E and Ari at Koi having dinner once again. And Ari going, no, Tom Cruise is up for the Pablo Escobar role. And E goes,
Tom Cruise is going to play Pablo Escobar? Oh, come on, the guy's not even Hispanic.
Yeah, and Hilary Swank has a vagina, and she won an Oscar pretending she has a dick. That's what actors do. They pretend.
I get it. Okay.
Do you need a vacation? Holiday believes vacation is a state of mind, so why not take a holiday whenever you want? Their premium CBD gummies are 100% THC-free and non-psychoactive, meaning they're all chill with no high. And they come in an assortment of delicious flavors such as cherry, orange, and lime. There is no need for a special occasion. You can take a holiday any day. Go to holidaycbd.com and use code OYEAH10 for $10 off your first order. That's code OYEAH10 for $10 off your first order at holidaycbd.com. Work hard, vacation harder.
You know what? You know why the show, to me, not that, I'm anywhere, I'm a comedian, but I have an agent and I've met some of these Hollywood types. And like I said, even met Jeremy Piven and all that. Sure. So, not that I'm like this big A-list guy, but Ari is so much funnier to me now because I know that he exists. Mm-hmm. Like when you go to LA, like there's 8, like they exist. Like they have 2, 3 Bluetooths in. They're talking like that. They're jumping on the table. Like it's hilarious that like when I got to LA, I was like, wow, like Ari wasn't pulled out of thin air.
Yeah. He's just better looking and better written than most of those guys.
Yeah, but he's based off somebody. Have they ever said who that's actually based off?
Yeah,
like,
he's based off of Ari Emanuel, Rahm Emanuel, the mayor of Chicago's brother, who was an advisor on Barack Obama's staff. So he's a real dude. Cool. And really interesting situation in Chicago with the mayor and all that stuff. It's a mess I'm not going to get into. We'll keep the city politics out of the Entourage podcast.
Yeah, we'll just talk about Chicago pizza, which is kind of like cake, but it's great.
Hey, you know what? I'm not one of those guys. You have a slice of deep dish pizza and an IPA, and you can just lay down in fucking traffic and die. I like a good, crispy bar. The little squares. Yeah. That's the way to go.
Yeah, dude, I've never had a problem with Chicago pizza. Every time I've been in Chicago, I don't know, like because they have different water than us, but their pizza's excellent. So I don't know what Chicago does differently, but they're great. Music
plays a big part in this show. I personally had like a playlist of all these songs I heard on Entourage. Did anything jump out at you from this episode?
No. What were some of the songs?
So I mean, and it's interesting that you're on because I like the 2 New York hip hop groups. Mos Def, Ghetto Rock was playing as they walked into Ari's office for the first time.
Right.
And then when at the very end of the show, when like Turtle reveals that he used Ari's DHL number, Scenario by Tribe Called Quest starts playing. And
whose DHL number is this?
It's Ari's.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, those are old school. I actually, dude, I went to Derek Jeter's 40th birthday party.
What the fuck?
I know. I just went. I just like got like somehow like invited, but like I didn't actually never. Derek Jeter didn't show up till really late, and I'm such a pussy. I just like had to go home because I was tired. I'm such a pussy. But anyway, when I like Mos Def was there.
That's awesome.
And when we couldn't believe this happening. I was at some bar. I was at some club downtown Manhattan, and we were there. And I could see Mos Def, and then these girls came out, and they put them in like bird cages, but human-sized bird cages.
Yeah.
And like they were like dancing, and I was just like watching Mos Def watch what was about to happen. Somebody slid, like the guys slid these lubed up wiffle ball bats into these bird cages, and the girls started shoving them in their pussies.
This is at Derek Jeter's birthday party. This happened.
40th birthday party. And just to watch, I mean, Mos Def was like, yeah! It was so funny. And that's just like the memory I have of Mos Def is just watching him watch this girl just blast a wiffle ball bat right into her pussy at his birthday party. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I can't even picture it.
It was not, I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
Yeah.
And you're not allowed to, Derek Jeter's anything, not that I've ever been around to, but just that birthday party I was at, and you hear the stories in the papers, we all had to put our phones
NDAs
like
and shit like
away.
That? Yeah.
Yeah. So like nobody, you just have to believe my word because like nobody has video of it.
Yeah. Just have to, you talked about it on a podcast.
That's it.
Dude, that is so fucking funny. Yeah, no, there's celebrity cameos in the show, Chris.
Yeah.
Did you? There was like only 2 major ones in this episode.
Amanda Peet is so hot.
Oh, dude.
Excuse me, Eric Murphy. This is Amanda Peet.
Hey.
Eric is Vincent Chase's manager.
Oh, hey.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too. When's Vince gonna do another movie already?
Soon, very soon.
She's the big one. She's so beautiful. It's hard to take.
And she was like peak game here. She had just done Saving Silverman and a whole 9 yards, like within 2 years of this.
Yeah.
She's
like
great. A year out from marrying David Benioff, the guy who created Game of Thrones. And then her career kind of, I don't know if she had kids or anything.
She's married to the creator of Game of Thrones?
She is married to the creator of Game of
Thrones.
Dude,
you know what's so funny? I was like, when I was watching the show last night, I looked at her. I was going to like try to DM her to see if she was single. Could you imagine me DMing her? I live in a fucking 1-bedroom in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn, on a fucking, my couch looks like a car seat, and she's married to the creator of Game of Thrones.
She's worth $250 million, I'm sure.
Hilarious that I almost DM'd her. Guys, we're so funny, guys, because our egos are so huge.
Yep. Oh, easily. Oh, yeah, I recognize her. She used to be hot. I'm going to take my shot. She's probably sitting around waiting for me.
It's so stupid.
What's funny about David Benioff, her husband, was when he goes up there and he wins an Emmy for Game of Thrones, which he's won like 12, he goes, and I'd love to thank my wife, Amanda Peet. He says it. It's like there's some YouTube compilation of him saying her full name.
And for our families, thank you to our parents and to our beautiful wives. Amanda Peet, I love you so much. Frankie, Molly, Henry.
It's almost like the dude's bragging. By the way, I'm slamming Amanda Peet. You all remember
Amanda
her.
Peet.
Mic drop.
I wonder if she's pissed that she didn't get a role in that show.
I don't know if she. I don't know, where would she be?
Who cares, right? I mean, she's getting the money from it.
True, exactly.
Yeah.
Worst celebrity cameo's got to be Busey.
But it was up in here. It was in my heart, my spirit, my soul, my mind, my emotions.
Hey, Gary,
no anxiety, no
how many pictures do we need?
One perfect one that comes from the light of the sun after it's already set.
I liked Busey, but he was just in Busey and the Beach, which was like midway through season 1, so it was like a little too much Busey too early on in the show.
But you know what I will say? It looked like, even though like the character, like what he was talking about was funny with the totem pole and shit, that was hilarious. It almost looked like a healthy Busey. Like it looked like definitely on crack Busey, but like like a lot of crack Busey.
Yep.
Like he looks way worse now.
Oh yeah, totally. Well, I mean, 15 years
he was
doesn't.
definitely snorting. I mean, he was smoking crack on the set, no doubt about it. But like it wasn't that much crack yet.
When he famously doesn't, like, well, for Entourage at least, he didn't have any lines. They would just be like, talk about this totem pole, and then they just film the actors reacting to him. So that's why it's always a little weird, because you see them kind of like trying to find their spots and stuff. I don't know. It was like way too soon. He was literally on the show 3 episodes ago, and this season, you know, spoiler alert, like in 2 episodes, like the boys go to the fucking Playboy Mansion and like everyone's there. So like there's a pretty quick ramp up into like A-list celebrities in this season.
Right.
So Busey being there at the beginning,
Yeah, I know. I got the feeling watching, because I was saying, like we were talking about before, like I was reminded of how great Entourage was. And it's even like, because it was season 2, the first episode, like it was great. It was, but it's like compared to like 3, 4, 5th season, like it's almost like it's season 2 look like a web series compared to what it's going to end on. You know, like the finale of the series. It was crazy. I just forgot.
It was still like, I mean, it was really popular in season 1, and then it became a little bit more popular. But you can almost see the runway. You're like, damn, this thing.
Yeah, but it wasn't like the top show in the country yet.
No, it wasn't at all. I was just watching some CNN. Fucking on Netflix, like the documentary about the year 2000 or the 2000s or something.
Oh, the 2000s, yeah.
And they talked about like the top 5 shows. It was like Sopranos, obviously, 6 Feet Under, Mad Men, and Entourage. I'm like, really? Wow. Check that out if anyone hasn't checked it out yet. Okay, here's a new question. A lot of people had issues in season 1 because I would talk about what hasn't aged well. And we get into this conversation about you can't say this word anymore, you can't act this way anymore, and it became really awkward, and I would be apologizing for people's behavior 15 years ago on a show that I wasn't a part of. So the question has been tailored a little bit here, Chris. Okay. How would this episode just be different if it took place in 2019?
Well, first of all, the characters wouldn't be wearing bell-bottom jeans. I mean, did you see that? Like when they're in the elevator, when Vince storms out, it's like, I mean, the clothes they're wearing is horrific. Like I thought that I was like, there's no way they'd be wearing bell-bottom jeans with these shoes. Like what? Like they'd be wearing tailored jeans with high-top Nikes now and have fades, and it was just like the wardrobe was like strikingly bad. But it was cool in 2006. Like what they were wearing was what a cool guy in LA would wear.
Dude, I'm thinking about Drama's like open bowling shirt over the black tank top, and he's got the white iPod Classic on his hip when he's like walking the dog in. I'm like, dude, that is a look. That is a look.
The look. And I almost wonder, even like the guys, I know it's like pussy shit, but like, and I don't know because it's HBO, but even like when the guys were talking about like period sex and banging girls in their period, like I just wonder today if like you would have to have a lot more jokes in it. Like I think like you could talk about it, but it'd have to be like so insanely funny and like the pinnacle of a scene that it's okay. If you're just like throwing shit in, I could see people being like offended because everyone's fucking offended. But honestly, I don't know. I mean, definitely in that episode, I don't know if there's too many things, but a lot of the shit Ari says throughout the seasons just wouldn't fly.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to say it.
Yeah, and we've talked about that on this show a little bit. I mean, he's an iconic character. He won 3 Emmys for the role, so like he was doing something right. But no, some of the shit he says just doesn't age, and that's all right. Like he introduces Lloyd, he's like,
You like Asian Lloyd? He's cute, right? And he covers 2 quotas.
That's still a funny fucking line.
Yeah,
I don't care.
And that's funny too. And that's interesting. So like that's like a culture, that's like a word. And that's I forgot, I'm happy you mentioned that because I was like, oh, bring that up because I thought about it. Like that's the first time you ever heard Gaysian.
Yep.
Like they created that. And then like Gaysian is just a word now. It reminded me of like in Along Came Polly when William Seymour Hoffman says, I farted, a little shit came out. He says I sharted.
What happened to you? Ruben, I'm in a situation here. We have to leave now. Well, no, can we stay a couple more minutes? But dude, no, this is serious. I just sharted. I don't know what that means. I tried to fart and a little shit came out. I just sharted.
Like now we just say the word shart and it's from a movie. It's before Along Came Polly, nobody had ever heard of a shart. And same thing with Gaysian. It's like you just call people Gaysians now.
Yep.
And it's like, yeah, Ari said that.
I think the one thing that jumped out at me that would probably be different in this episode is there's this whole plot that Ari is circling where he's like, Vince, you cooled off. Like, people forgot about you. You're not going to get as good of offers. This was 2019. You know this very well. He wouldn't have cooled off because of social media. He would have been doing podcasts when he was in New York. He'd be posting Instagram stories from the Queens Boulevard set. Like, no one would have forgotten about Vincent Chase.
Yeah, no, especially if he was like one of the most famous people, because it's now like nobody, like if you're famous, it's like who cares? Yep. Everybody's famous. Yep. Like everybody's got followers. Like it's not about that anymore. Now it's about like, the projects you want to do, or like, can you like I would so much rather be able to just sell tickets in like comedy clubs or theaters and be able to make money for my family and only have my fans there, but then be anonymous in the street. Because like in 2019, it's like the more famous you get, the more tweets they can look through and the bigger problem you're going to have, most likely.
It's like a compounding like.
Absolutely. It's like being famous right now is like, it's actually not a good thing. Not in 2019.
Not in 2019. All right. Here's the moment I wanted to talk about with you. I'm not saying this is why I had you on, but this is a big part of it. So,
all right,
when the DHL packages arrive at the end of the episode, they open it up and Drama goes,
Yo, H&H Bagel.
Hey, what's up? Yo, check it out. Carnegie Canisius, man. Dang, Eddie's Pizza. What a score, man. It's like being back in New York.
Nice.
Chris, are these the best of the best in New York?
Listen. Well, let me start with the Knish.
Yes, please.
I like Knishes. I'm not Jewish, so I don't know that I can really comment on what's a good Knish, what's not a good Knish. And also, there was a big fire in the Knish factories in a big So, like, you used to be able to get a Knish on a New York City street corner. It's very rare now you find the Knish guy. You find the hot dog guy, you find the halal guy, but to find the Knish guy, it's like I can't tell you the last time I ate a Knish on the street. When I used to eat, I remember my dad would come pick me up, and we would be walking through Manhattan, and I would always have a Knish. And now they just don't exist anymore.
Huh.
It's so weird, but in 2005 they did still. So if you Google it, it's like Google like Knish shortage in New York. Like,
interesting.
It just put the Knish guys out of business because some factory went up in flames.
Well, Carnegie Deli's still there. They still are probably making Knishes, right?
Yeah, I think Carnegie Deli's closing though.
Oh shit.
I'm pretty sure it closed, or it's closing.
So I was doing some research about this, and H&H Bagels has closed, the bagel place they mentioned. And there's still like 2 Midtown locations, but they used to pump out like 80,000 bagels a day, but they closed in 2012. And then Eddie's Pizza is still open, and Eddie's Pizza is in Long Island.
Long Island, yeah. Well, that's what I was going to mention. So this is how wild. So H&H Bagels and Eddie's Pizza, although they're great, the thing is, we're a united city. New York City is a united city. You know, we got 5 boroughs. We're like all about like pro Yankee. You know, whatever team you are, like we're. But when it comes to the food, it starts to become like a little civil war. So I could never really say that H&H Bagels or Eddie's were any better than anything because I'm from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, the bagels that I like and the pizza that I like is just like, no, like if you're talking pizza, if you're talking to like a New Yorker, you know, for me, if you talk, you know, I'm talking about, you know, L&B's Pizza, L&B's Spumoni Gardens. That's like an iconic pizzeria. If we're talking about bagels, to be honest with you, like I live in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn right now. Like there's a place called Bagel Boy. It's the best bagels I've ever had in my life. So it's like the thing is with New York, I really mean this. Like the thing is with New York, when it comes to bagels and pizza, it's only good. It's only not good to New Yorkers. So if you're not from New York and I took you to any bagel place or any pizzeria anywhere in Brooklyn, you'd be like, this is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
But only a native New Yorker, I could be like, this isn't as good as it. Like there's a pizzeria, like there's a pizzeria here, Gino's in Bay Ridge. Like somebody could eat that pizza, be like, this is the best pizza I've ever had in my life. I've never had anything better. But like somebody in the Bronx has never even heard of Gino's Pizza. Yeah. It's just there's so many options. So I feel like for me, like I would say, although I'm sure Eddie's is great and H&H Bagels is great, I've had their bagels. It's to say that's the best. I don't know that you can get a collect. Here's what I'll say. There's a place. This place is closing. It's called DeFara's Pizza.
Okay.
DeFara's. It's been in Brooklyn for like 60 years. The man, DeFara himself, cooks the pizza, and he's a 95-year-old man now. And the line, it's about a 2-hour wait because him and his daughter make the pizza, but he's closing it at the end of this year. But DeFara's Pizza is actually the best pizza I've ever had.
And where is it? You said
it's in Midwood, Brooklyn. I believe it's on Avenue J.
Okay.
DIFARA. If you're in New York, hit DeFara's because it's like a iconic place and it's closing.
One of my best friends lives in Brooklyn, and I'm trying to go out there in the next couple months, so maybe I will do that.
Hit DeFara's, cuz.
Will do. But it's believable that these 3 places could be the 3 favorite places of some guys from Queens, right?
I had no problem when they said Eddie's and H. I had no issue with that. Cool. I wasn't like, these fucking losers, these hacks. I was like, I get it. It's just not my favorite. Okay. But I, as a New Yorker, I had no issue. At all with them picking those.
Cool. We're wrapping up here. I like to talk about every week Vince always wins the episode because he's the A-list movie star who gets all the pussy. So excluding Vince, who won this episode?
I would say Drama. He got his headshots.
That's true. Those headshots are important. Man. Those are important, man.
These are great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Except, what's with the big apple behind your head? It doesn't matter. This is our year, Johnny. Can you feel it?
I'm going to go Turtle. He kind of establishes himself as like the utility guy in the crew. He doesn't do much in season 1 besides smoke weed and have sex, which, let's be honest, not a bad life, but he kind of starts positioning himself as like a little bit more important than he initially was.
Turtle in real life is fucking ripped now. Jerry Ferraro looks like a different guy.
It's crazy. Yeah. I just rewatched the Entourage movie, and he looks yoked in that movie. Good for him. Last question, Chris. Would you say this was an A-list episode, a B-list episode, or a D-list episode? Basically, was this great, just okay, or complete trash?
I would say Entourage as a show is an A-list TV show. This episode was a B-list.
Agreed. It's kind of putting some like chess pieces in place and like moving some stuff around the board, but there wasn't some iconic cameo. There wasn't a scene that stands out as like a top 10 Entourage scene.
Yeah.
But it wasn't bad where you had some weird fucking tangent plot that like doesn't go anywhere, some horrible character introduction. We didn't mention that Dejan Lloyd being introduced for like 30 seconds, like he plays a huge part. He ends up being Drama's agent. He ends up...
I was going to say, that was the first time anybody ever saw Dejan Lloyd. Yep. And like, he was like becomes like an icon.
Yep.
By the end.
I know.
Yeah.
Chris, this has been a blast.
Thanks, man.
Thank you so much for joining us. Will, now that you've rewatched episode 1 of season 2, are you going to keep watching Entourage?
Yeah, well, I was just going to mention, like, my daughter, was up a little late last night, but now she's asleep. Like, because of episode 1 being like a setup episode, I was like, well, I have to watch episode 2 now. I have to just see what happens because to be honest with you, I would imagine I've seen close to every episode of Entourage, but I can't believe, like, my brain just filed it away. Like, I'm like, wait, what happens? I like have glimpses of remembering.
It is a rich text of just references and names and music and cameos, and we are here every week, every Monday morning to break it down episode by episode. Chris, where are you going to be in April? Where are you going to be so that the fans of Oh Yeah can come out and see you?
Well, you can catch all my shows at chrisdcomedy.com, but April 25th, I'll be at the Wall Street Theater in Norwalk, Connecticut. April 26th, 27th, Laugh Boston, Massachusetts. April 28th, I'll be at the Empire Theater in Portland, Maine. I'm fucking going through New England, baby.
Beautiful. What's the? Can you briefly talk about the podcast you're doing with Giannis?
So I have a podcast with Giannis Pappas, great comedian, Greek kid, cute Greek kid, and it's called The History Hyenas. And we talk about nature and history, and it's fucking wild. But it's all accurate shit, and we just go ape shit. So The History Hyenas, get it on iTunes.
Chris, thank you so much for joining us. I know you're a busy man. Go out and see Chris if he's performing in your city. We'd love to have you back. Maybe when we set up some studio space in New York, we can meet face to face.
Let's do it, man.
It's been a real pleasure, man.
All right, bud.
Talk to you soon.
Later, bud.
Thanks for listening, everybody. If you haven't yet, please leave us a review on iTunes. Follow the podcast on Instagram and Twitter at OhYeahPod. And you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at JRWillDoIt. We have a big pair of guests joining us next week. That'll be an Oh Yeah First, a legitimate threesome, to discuss what I think is my favorite episode of Entourage ever. My Maserati does 185. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you Monday.